At Sell Your Motors, we pride ourselves on our honesty and integrity. You bring your car to one of our locations, in 30 minutes we'll give you a quote. If you like it, we'll buy it there and then, in cash. And if you don't, no hard feelings. But over the decades of working in this industry, we have come across some unbelievable stories. And we want to expose some of those stories in this series, Shocking Stories from Unsuspecting Sellers. Welcome to another episode of Shocking Stories from Unsuspecting Sellers. This is a scam that happens all too often, so be careful of the details. It's pretty easy to spot if you know what you're looking for. So a normal seller puts their car on all of the usual websites, and then somebody contacts them, says, I'm really interested in your car, can I come and have a look? They'll come round, they'll inspect the car, let's say that the car was put on for 200,000 dirhams. They'll look around and they'll make note of all of the small details that are wrong, but they won't say anything. What they'll do is they'll go around looking at all the details and spotting the defects, but they won't specifically mention anything. After looking around, they'll make an offer, maybe 170,000 dirhams. A bit of negotiation back and forth, and the seller's happy to sell. So, all's done, right? Just one final step. The buyer will say, I've been ripped off in the past and I'd really like to just get a good opinion from a mechanic on the quality of your car. Is that okay? And of course the buyer says, yeah, no problem. He says, great, I know a mechanic, they'll do it really cheaply for us, so why don't we go there now? Now, of course, the mechanic is in on the scam. So the buyer and the seller take the car to the mechanic. They sit down in the waiting room, expecting, of course, the seller is expecting a 30-minute process. An hour goes by, then 2 hours, then 3 hours, and the inspection still isn't complete. Even the buyer's getting a little bit frustrated by this time, so he says to the seller, listen, whilst he's completing the inspection, why don't we go and complete all of the work at the RTA? And the seller goes, yeah, okay, cool. Because by this time he's thinking, okay, well, this is a serious buyer who really wants to just get this deal done. So they head to the RTA. There's another half an hour waiting. Another hour goes by, and then all the paperwork is all but complete. What's left is payment. Suddenly, the buyer gets a message on WhatsApp. It's the mechanic, remember, who's in on the scam. And the mechanic shows a list of defects with the car. Now, he won't necessarily say that things are broken. He'll say that tires that have got 50,000 kilometers worth of tread on them only have 2,000 kilometers of tread on them. The small things that he'd spotted originally, they'll become really big things. There's nothing really wrong with the car, but he'll put together a bill for 70,000 dirhams. And now, of course, the buyer is in a really difficult position. He's mentally exhausted. He's wasted a whole day, and now he's faced with the fact that his car is actually a lemon. Or at least, that's what this mechanic's telling him. The buyer is sympathetic to the seller's situation and says, well, obviously I can't buy it in this state for 170,000. Why don't we make a deal? I'll buy it for 120,000. 9 times out of 10, the seller, exhausted, shattered, and just wanting to get the deal done, will agree. And so, he'll sell his car for 120,000 dirhams. And guess where that car will appear within just 12 hours? That's right, all those same websites, this time being sold for 200,000 dirhams. It's a really easy scam to spot. If the buyer insists on a mechanical review, which is his right, then insist that the mechanical review is done at a well-known, well-reputed mechanic. You can even agree to split the cost or even take the cost from yourself. It doesn't really cost that much money to do. At Sell Your Motors, selling your car is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Bring your car to one of our locations and within 30 minutes we'll have inspected it and given you a fair price. If you like it, great, we'll pay you cash there and then. And if not, no hard feelings. Until next time on Shocking Stories from Unsuspecting Sellers.